A Laurel County mother says she is frustrated and angry over the sentence the man convicted of killing her daughter received.
It's typically a quiet neighborhood. Sheriff's deputies in Jackson County were called out to a home where a woman is accused of shooting her husband. Why they say the man is lucky to be alive.
And hear from the man who's been chosen to be the principal of Fayette County's new high school.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening. Tonight we're learning more about a crash involving a fire truck in Frankfort. Police say 2 firefighters were injured.
That crash happened late this afternoon on US 60 at the Chenault Road intersection. Police say a fire truck and a cement truck collided. They're still trying to figure out how it happened. Investigators say 2 firefighters were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 1 lane is open in each direction on US 60, and police think the scene will be cleared in the next half hour. We want you to keep checking WKYT.com and, of course, the WKYT News app for the very latest updates. The victim's family tells us it is not justice. Today, a Laurel County man found guilty for the shooting death of his girlfriend learned his sentence.
The jury convicted Christopher Byrd of reckless homicide for the death of Shannon Ingle last year. But Byrd was able to walk out of the courthouse today after the judge sentenced him. Hillary Thornton talks to Ingle's mother in our top story at 6.
Before court got started, the victim's mother, looking over pictures of her daughter as the man responsible for her death, sat in the row in front of her, awaiting his sentence.
I was just remembering her laugh, remembering her smile, remembering how loving she was.
Christopher Byrd out of custody since his trial wrapped up last week. The 30-year-old convicted of reckless homicide for the July 2015 shooting death of his then-girlfriend, 22-year-old Shannon Ingle. The jury was given the option to choose a conviction of intentional murder, wanton murder, manslaughter second degree, or reckless homicide, ultimately convicting him of reckless homicide. On that charge, the jury recommending a 1-year sentence.
After the verdict, I was in complete shock and dismay.
Rambo says despite struggling since that verdict, she found strength to stand in the courtroom today, reading a letter that Byrd could hear.
I hope Shannon comes to you in your dreams. I hope you never forget the pain you have caused. You may have spent time in prison, but you have given me a life sentence.
Meanwhile, Byrd not speaking at his sentencing, only listening. The special judge from outside of Laurel County giving the recommended sentence of 1 year, and with more than 400 days already spent behind bars, Byrd walking out a free man with credit for that time served.
He may have escaped justice on this earth, but there is a God that he cannot run from. And I most definitely know that I have never had an apology from this man at all, period.
In Laurel County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Ingle's mother says her daughter filed an EPO against Byrd months before the shooting, but because the couple did not show up for court, the case was dismissed.
Tonight, police blame a wife's suspicions for a shooting that injured her husband. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office charged 66-year-old Brenda Strohmeyer with assault. They say she shot her husband last night because she believed he was having an affair. Caitlin Sentner is tracking the investigation.
On back roads in Jackson County, it's
peaceful. That's all I can really say. It's peaceful here. Everybody seems to stick to themselves. If they need something, they come around.
Thursday, deputy cruisers pulled down one of those rural back roads after they say a 911 call came in from a woman saying she shot her husband. That call, the sheriff says, came from Brenda Strohmeyer.
Strohmeyers are, we never had no issues with them.
Neighbors tell us although it didn't happen all the time, the Strohmeyers were known for just stopping by and saying hello.
I used to talk to him quite often. When I'm out here, he'll stop and talk, and she'll stop and talk.
I'm surprised at this, but I'm not totally shocked.
Sheriff Hayes says this isn't his first run-in with the pair, but Thursday, he says, was more intense. He says when deputies pulled up to the home, Bruce Strohmeyer was in one of the couple's cars out front with a gunshot wound to his arm and side, and Brenda claiming she shot her husband because she believed he was having an affair.
My understanding is when the victim arrived at the residence, he was in the company of another lady who was with him. They came through the back door, went to the kitchen area of the house. When they attempted to open the door to the bathroom, she came out of the bathroom. She had the handgun in her hand, and proceeded to start shooting very quickly at him.
Bruce was rushed to the hospital, but he's expected to be okay. Sheriff Hayes saying he's lucky to be alive. In Jackson County, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Police say more charges could be filed against Brenda Strohmeyer.
New tonight, a grand jury has indicted a Clark County pretrial officer accused of having sex with an inmate. Daphne Kelly faces rape and complicity to commit escape charges. They say Kelly had sex with inmate James Bussell while he was on work release from the Clark County jail. The grand jury indicted Bussell on escape, promoting contraband, and being a persistent felony offender charges. Another court worker, James Lovings, was indicted for complicity to commit escape. Investigators say he helped Bussell stay out of jail. Also new tonight, a federal judge has thrown out a lawsuit against Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis. 2 gay couples and 2 straight couples filed the lawsuit last year after Davis stopped issuing marriage licenses. She said her religious beliefs wouldn't allow her to issue licenses to same-sex couples. A new state law has removed the names of county clerks from marriage licenses, which Davis says accommodates her beliefs.
It is the night many people across the Bluegrass have been waiting for. Another high school football season is kicking off. This is a live look now from Georgetown, where a game between Scott County and Tates Creek is getting underway. So will some of tonight's games be played in the rain? Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has an early look at that forecast.
A little sunshine there you can see peeking through for the folks there in Scott County, and you're going to find that in some areas, but to our south, mainly showing up some scattered showers, maybe even a thunder shower or two, and even now one that's popped up in parts of Woodford County. Look at some of our sky cams that we have across Kentucky right now. Still holding on to the warmth here in Frankfort and Lexington, low 80s. A little more humid here as well, and you got some showers that have been showing up in London and Jackson, so a much wetter picture and cooler temperatures in those areas as well. Now, here's what we've got on our Defender Radar Network. You can see the little batch of rain around London stretching down through Barberville, but look at this one that's just popped up here within the past few minutes. That one's getting ready to head right into Versailles, and if it holds steady and moving off toward the east-northeast, likely gets into sections of Fayette County, if it can hold on and stay alive that long. And this is what we'll see maybe in a few areas. But most will remain on the dry side as we head through the rest of the evening. Now, the focus of the forecast is really about the weekend, because we have a front that gets in here and it changes everything. The pattern, this humidity, the heat, the storm chance, every day it takes a break. I'll break it down coming up for you in just a few minutes.
All right, we will see you then, sir. Thank you. More volunteers from Kentucky are heading to Louisiana to help people there recover from historic flooding.
Thousands of homes were destroyed after more than 20 inches of rain fell in parts of the state last weekend. Kristen Kennedy talks to Kentuckians getting ready to leave and those already helping in Louisiana.
She's been to flood-damaged areas before, and this Tuesday, Kentucky Baptist Disaster Relief volunteer Judy Kendall will return to a community in need of a lot of help.
We just know that when there's a disaster, especially one like this, we're going to be there.
She's heading south to Louisiana, where thousands are trying to dry out.
Their homes are destroyed. Most of their vehicles are gone. Their places of employment are gone. Their churches are flooded. Their grocery stores, gas stations are flooded. Their schools are flooded. What we take for granted every day, they have lost.
The Red Cross is calling the flooding around Baton Rouge the worst disaster since Superstorm Sandy. Kentucky's Regional Disaster Program Specialist Loretta Henderson is there now, working in a shelter.
There's a humongous need here for housing. The folks have been completely displaced. Most of them are coming in with only a grocery bag of clothing or a few pieces of paper.
Henderson says more flash flooding in already drenched areas is a reality for the families she's helping.
The folks down here are completely resilient. It's just amazing because I would like to think that I could keep a smile on my face going through this, but I'm not so sure.
She'll be in Baton Rouge for the rest of the month. Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
The Kentucky Baptist Disaster Relief Organization will end up sending close to 75 volunteers.
Tonight, Fayette County's new high school has a principal. Today, school leaders announced Bryan Station Middle School principal Lester Diaz has been named principal of the school. It's currently under construction off Winchester Road and will open next year. As Sabira Rayford tells us, one of Diaz's first tasks will be helping decide a name for the school.
It's the sound of a fresh start. After more than 25 years, Fayette County is getting a new high school, and today they got a new high school principal as well.
This is home. It's been home for a while, so this transition is going to be bittersweet.
Lester Diaz is going into his 5th and final year as the principal at Bryan Station Middle School. Today, Superintendent Manny Kolk announced that Diaz will be the principal of the new high school that is scheduled to open next year.
We want to open the doors August 2017 and have the best high school in the state, the best high school in the nation. We want to be innovative. We want to establish a place where kids can grow, develop, and find themselves in preparation for the rest of their lives.
For now, the school is being called Fayette County High School number 6, but Diaz says he plans to change that as soon as possible.
A naming committee, and not just naming, mascot, color scheme, the entire branding and how we're going to market and what community ties we're going to bring in.
In his 4 years as principal at Bryan Station Middle, Diaz says he's seen the school grow. He says the middle school received a green ribbon from Washington, D.C., and they started a Spanish immersion program. Now he is looking forward to incorporating what he's learned at Bryan Station into the new school.
This is an opportunity, a great opportunity, to do something that only a handful of leaders have done, great leaders, to start something from scratch.
In Lexington, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Diaz says a committee will meet Monday to determine if he will continue as principal at Bryan Station Middle School for the rest of the school year.
Next Saturday will mark 10 years since the crash of Comair Flight 5191. 49 people died when the plane crashed near Bluegrass Airport on August 27, 2006. Memorial service will be held next Saturday morning at the UK Arboretum, where a memorial sculpture for the victims was built. WKYT will air that memorial service live. It will begin at 10 a.m. next Saturday. You'll also be able to watch the service on our website, WKYT.com.
Some traffic frustration for drivers on OWar Boulevard this week. We will tell you about the road work that's causing all the headaches.
Welcome back. If you've been stuck in traffic on OWar Boulevard near the Hamburg area, I feel your pain, and here is the reason why.
Construction crews have extended the left turn lane on outbound OWar at the Pink Pigeon Parkway intersection, and between the morning and afternoon rush hours, Lexington city leaders say crews have been paving other turn lanes on OWar between Sir Barton Way and Old Todd's Road. At times, OWar has been down to just one lane as part of that work. Lexington city leaders say all of the work should be finished sometime next week.
Good news. Another night of live music is getting underway at Lexington Green. The Lakeside Live series continues tonight until 9 o'clock. And there will be more live music tomorrow night from 6 until 9. Lakeside Live continues every Friday and Saturday through October 15th.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jen Caldwell.
We're about to see a major change in the atmosphere come at us this weekend, with temperatures dropping and humidity levels also going down. That's the most important thing, is to get rid of that humidity, because it makes it so much more comfortable to be outside. Even today, we have a high level of humidity, so it's not a good day to be out there. Let's look at some of our temperatures now and our Defender Radar Network all rolled into one for you. And you're going to find where the thicker clouds and the showers have been a little more persistent through the day, we're cooler. Southern and eastern Kentucky, you got low and mid 70s. London, 74 degrees. Out toward Jackson, 76. Thicker clouds also hanging out in this area. The rest of us, where it's a little bit thinner and you're actually seeing some sunshine, we have those low and even some mid 80s, like here in Lexington, we're at 82 degrees. We throw it all into motion. You can see where we've been going the past 2 hours. Showers dying out for the most part. Now, the coverage does not look like it did when we first came on the air at 4 o'clock. Most of it has died out considerably, but we do have a few remaining in the area, like this one closing in on Versailles. A little light shower, not a big deal at all, more of a nuisance than anything else. And then even more as we transition to our south, where we do find some pockets of heavier rain showing up there in sections of Knox County. Nothing in Barberville proper, at least at this moment, but you could certainly see another little shower quickly roll through your area soon. So we look at some more headlines. Front will bring more widespread thunderstorms to the area for this weekend, especially Saturday. That's going to be the best concentration that we've seen really in a while. Other than just the scattered chances we've been dealing with, this is a solid chance. A fall feel will arrive at the end of the weekend, and our pattern finally settles down some. That means you're not talking about daily chances of showers and thunderstorms. It's actually calm for a while, even the low humidity. We look at another picture of the temperatures, you can kind of see just the shading there, how much cooler it is to our south and east. Here's the hour-by-hour run, and you see what happens as we head into your Saturday. Tonight, things will calm down, but tomorrow, scattered chances of storms toward midday, and then the front pushes deeper into Kentucky, and you see a little more organization to it, almost a line trying to develop across Kentucky by tomorrow evening, very close to this time. Let's progress on into Saturday night, Sunday morning, and notice there's a clearing line, an actual clearing line that will try to sweep through, and it does by the time we get into the early morning on Sunday. We'll see temperatures starting to drop and get to a more comfortable level around here, and that's what's going to be the big push of the fall-like air. Now, we could run into a stronger thunderstorm or two as we head into the evening hours tomorrow, so that's something we'll watch for. But the most important things will be the long-lasting impact. The humidity drops significantly around here. We're going really low compared to where we have been the past few days, 30–40% change, maybe more than that in some cases. And then highs 5 to 7 below normal. Now, that's not what's going to be the big thing. It's the fact that the humidity drops. Here we go, 7-day forecast. Highs in the upper 70s there for a couple of days, and if we're not in the 70s, we're going to be really close, like Tuesday, 80 degrees. But the sunshine is back, the humidity is down, and a fall feel is in the air. We're early, but we certainly need it.
I am not mad about that at all.
I don't think anybody
Not
will
one
be.
bit.
Because we're talking about high school football. It's time to get that feel in the air, and it's showing up next week, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, just ahead, the high school football season, it has kicked off.
And up here in Georgetown, Scott County already with a 13–0 lead over Tates Creek. We will talk about the second game here tonight, Dunbar and Lafayette. And for the Wildcats tomorrow, the second big scrimmage of fall camp. Running back Michael Horton will be back after suffering an ankle injury. We'll hear from him next in sports. And welcome back to Georgetown, everybody. The high school football season has kicked off about midway through the first quarter. Scott County already up 13–0 here on Tates Creek. It's a doubleheader. Second game is Lafayette and Dunbar, and if you remember, these two teams had some high drama last season. What a game that was. The first round of the playoffs, Dunbar was about to eliminate the eventual state runner-up, leading 21–14 with 2:20 left. The Bulldogs lost a fumble inside the 5, and Mason Allstat sprinted 88 yards to tie the game. Lafayette won in overtime. It's a game which both sides remember all too well.
We were down before the last play, before the return, and we were all sitting there, but Walker came over and he was like, "We're not done. We're gonna finish this thing out." And that was kind of the moment where it was like, "Wow, we're really in this. We're going. We're not stopping."
You just think, why couldn't we have just won? We were winning the whole time, and then the last 5 seconds they score. They just outbeat us. So, in other words, I just want to play harder, make it better, and then do a winning season.
And we take a look at our high school game time top 10. Lafayette #1 in our first poll of the year. Scott County playing Tates Creek right now and leading comfortably is #2. Pulaski County #3. They open the season with Harlan tonight. #4 is Boyle County, 5 Danville. Then it's Southwestern Henry Clay and Lexington Catholic. Somerset is in at #9, and LCA is #10. And tonight at 11, all the high school scores and highlights. High school game time, Brian Milam and Lee K. Howard as we kick off another season. Now the Kentucky Wildcats have their second scrimmage of fall camp scheduled for tomorrow morning, and it will be an important one, as they all are, as people are fighting for positions. 1 week ago, Mark Stoops said that running back Michael Horton had suffered a significant ankle injury. Well, Horton is now back. He says he feels good, and there was no way he was going to miss this second scrimmage.
Oh no, I'm going full go. It's a competitive job. I got to get the job, so I'm going full go, full blast. Always get worried, you know, but Coach Green has taught us that competition is the drive. You know what I'm saying? It makes you want to come to practice. It makes you want to do extra and study film and stretch. And like, I've done so much, you know, extra stuff that I've never done. Like, I've always watched film, but I've never, took this time to get an extra stretch in, so I feel great.
And we are getting ever so closer to the start of the season. The countdown now down to 15 days. On the 15th of September 1973, Kentucky opened Commonwealth Stadium, beating Virginia Tech 31-26. Josh Forrest made 15 tackles for Kentucky last year in that season opener against Louisiana Lafayette. And running back Mo Williams broke or tied 15 school records back in 1995. What a running back he was. USA men's basketball taking on Spain this afternoon, semifinal round at the Rio Olympics. Team USA a winner by 6, 82-76. They will take on the winner of Australia and Serbia on Sunday. All right, we've got Tates Creek and Scott County. Scott County threatening again, leading 13-0 here with 3:32 left to go first quarter. Andrea Amber, high school football is underway.
You look so excited. A final check of your First Alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, Ryan Lochte apologizing for some robbery claims that landed him in hot water. But is it too little, too late? The latest from Rio.